Hello and welcome to NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.
Good evening racing fans, welcome back, or welcome to NXTGEN Racing, live on YouTube and live on Facebook. You join us for the GT3's Season 9 of NXTGEN's existence with the GT3s, hosted on Thursday night here on iRacing. And before we get going, let's give a shout out to NXTGEN Racing themselves for putting on this league, but also their partners, sponsors and affiliates who help run the show here, and they include PowerMax Racing, Mark's Ice Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design and Falconer PC. You join us for this 9th season of the GT3s. This is an all GT3 machinery league. It has dibbled and dabbled in other categories, but it is mostly GT3s, and it is hosted here on Thursday nights. We did have a week off last week, but we are back this week with what is round 4, and we'll go into the details of what tonight is, what round it is, what circuit we're at very, very shortly. But a little bit about the series before we get going. We're back tonight to the sprint and feature race format, because there are 2 formats run in this championship. But tonight, we will see 20 minutes of qualifying in about 13 minutes from now, and that will proceed with a sprint race after, with the grid of which is formed by the results of qualifying. Of course, like most racing championships around the world, past, present, future, real or unreal, virtual in this case. But the sprint race will be at approximately 25 minutes past the hour. That will follow with a 60-minute feature race, and it gets a little bit more interesting than it does previously, but the feature race will feature one pit stop, one scheduled pit stop that is, for every single driver, and the grid is formed by the reverse grid of the results from the sprint race, but each category in this championship will be reversed. And what we mean by category or class, as some people refer to it as, there are 3 skill categories in this championship that the drivers are categorised into. There is the gold category, which is typically the top third of the field, the best racers in the series and some of the best racers I've seen on iRacing. And the middle tier of drivers are the silver category, and the lesser experienced drivers will go into the bronze category. It is a fixed setup series as well, which means that all machinery is out of the box, as it is with a setup pre-chosen and stapled to the car pretty much. That is what you get for the season, that is what you get on your car. The only thing you are actually allowed to change is the brake bias, which means that is the only thing that will affect the handling on your car. It's all down to driver and machinery. And the other thing that makes this championship so unique is there is a live race control, a full course yellow system, and a safety car, an actual man-controlled safety car, if it is required, and we have seen quite a few of them in this series, including the full course yellow system. But the live race control means that penalties can be issued live, and it does mean that the racing is closely monitored, and if drivers are non-compliant with the rules, it means that they are administered penalties or reprimands, warnings, etc. straight away by a live race steward. And as we mentioned about format earlier, there is also endurance rounds in this championship. We just had one last time out 2 weeks ago for round 3, which was at the Road America circuit. That's a little bit about the series, but what about the tracks we are racing, including tonight's round? Well, tonight we are at the Motorland Aragon circuit, but it is not the traditional layout that you may or may not know about Aragon, because it is rather a Marmite kind of circuit, I find. But we started off all them weeks ago, nearly a month ago now, at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez Grand Prix circuit, also known as the Mexico City Grand Prix circuit. That was round 1 of the championship. Then we headed south to South America for the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache circuit in Brazil. We all know it as Interlagos. Round 3 was the first of 3 rounds. That was an endurance round that was hosted at Road America, and that was our last round of the championship. We are now heading into the midpoint of the season, heading towards it anyway, and we are today at the Motorland Aragon circuit, and we'll talk a little bit about the circuit very shortly. Round 5 will be next week, and that'll be hosted at the Hockenheimring GP circuit, and then we are past the halfway point into the second half of the season. The week after Hockenheim will be another West Germany round, and it will be at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. That will host round 6 of the championship and the second of 3 endurance rounds. Round 7, after a week off from round 6, will be the Silverstone circuit, the one closest to my home, and the one that many of these drivers will call their home round, their home circuit. That will host round 7 of the championship. Then we'll head to Italy for round 8 of the championship at the Monza Grand Prix circuit. And then round 9 will be hosted at the track that always seems to feature in Next Gen Racing Leagues. It's the Canadian Tire Mosport circuit. And then the final round, we always end these championships with endurances, and the final round will end with a singular 2-hour endurance race hosted at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit in Belgium. And these are the cars that the drivers will race this season. The drivers have to choose their cars at the start of the season, and if they want to change car partway through a season, they will incur a 50-point penalty, which is quite a hefty penalty. In some scenarios, that is more than a round's worth of points. So it is a very tactical decision they've got to make, or just one where they throw away the championship and just go with machinery that they perhaps prefer or will research for the following season. But these physics change on these GT3 cars so quickly on iRacing because it is the premier category on iRacing. And the cars that the drivers can choose this season are the Acura NSX, the Aston Martin Vantage, the latest car added to iRacing in the GT3 world, the Audi R8 LMS Evo 2, the BMW M4, the Chevrolet Corvette Z06, the Ferrari 296, the Ford Mustang, the Lamborghini Huracan, the McLaren 720S, the Mercedes AMG, and the Porsche 911. And tonight you join us for round 4 of the championship at the Motorland Aragon circuit, and that might not be the layout that you're so familiar with on this circuit. Well, it's because we are racing the outer layout as it is labelled on the thumbnail of this live stream, but basically it is a rendition of the FIM layout, whatever FIM is, but it's a rendition of that because the FIM layout will skip the final horrible hairpin, I might add, on this circuit, and it is just a long sweeping left-hander which is used for the MotoGP, and we also miss the middle twisty section which skips turns 12, 13, 14 and 15. So turn 12 is just one long flat out left-hander, which means all the way from turn number 10 to turn number 16 the taps are open and they're flat to the floor all the way down that long back straight. So we'll see some very high speeds tonight, akin to what we'll see at the Nürburgring Nordschleife back straight, as well as the Spa-Francorchamps Kemmel straight. Many scenarios will be fast this season, and this will be one of them. We are in Spain today, the only Spanish track of the season, and we're in the Alcanes region of Spain, which is it's quite an appropriately located track actually, because it sits right in the middle between Valencia, Madrid and Barcelona. So it is a very, very wisely placed track because logistically it just works for all three of the major cities in Spain. But it's a track designed by Herman Tilke, like it or don't like it, I suppose. But it was partially designed also with Pedro de la Rosa, a very famous Formula 1 driver. So that's a little bit about the track, and it is a 14-turn track, just to mention, 9 turns to the right and 5 to the left. It is not everyone's favourite track on iRacing, of course, but it is hosted in this championship with an alternate layout to try and make the racing all the more better, which this racing this season has been great. And to highlight that, we'll have a little look at the championship standings as we head into tonight. We'll start with the gold category. Championship leader is Harry Langford. Only a 3-point lead at the moment in this championship, as William Guthrie, who had a superb round last time at Road America, takes second place, only 3 points off top spot, with maximum points scoring. Well, not maximum, but highest scoring round in the last 2 rounds. So William Guthrie really is on the charge. Benji McCluskey is our defending champion. He had a good round last time at Road. A little bit of a blip in the internet in the neighbourhood, actually, just then. From what I've seen just then. from what I've seen from a message I've received, so apologies for that. Hopefully we've seen from a message I've received, so apologies for that. Hopefully we've re-established it round last time at Road America, winning and getting the bonus points. Third position, Wojciech Kerp. He has incurred a 5-point penalty in the champion, with Matthew Addy in 5th position, Jeffrey Kruger in 6th position, who missed last time out at Road America, Quinton Klumpert is in 7th position with Stein Vatens 8th, Neil Forbes in 9th, Nigel Stock in 10th. Over to bronze category now. Joshua Downing is in the lead of the championship. He had a 3rd place the last time out at Road America, and 9 points clear of Jonas Andersson, who's had a very consistent start to the season, and a 2nd place last time out at Road America rewards him with 2nd in the championship. Andrew Allen, who has led the championship at a point this season, is in 3rd, not too far off top spot, 15 points, is still well and truly in it. And Gabriel Papaconstantino, who's had a really strong start to the season, did miss last time at Road America, but he's back tonight, so we'll see how he gets on in the Lamborghini. Wesley Lewin in 5th position, followed by Mark Sykes, who won the last race at Road America, with Lewis Mason in 7th position. Adrian Ruiz Hernandez on home turf tonight is in 8th. Andy Rooney in 9th, and Matt Gatter 10th position. We also have a teams championship. Type 2 Racing Mords are top of the pops at the moment, the best scoring team in round 1 and round 3 so far. Full Tilt Motorsport in 2nd position with some of the big names of this championship: Jesse Payne Wilkins, Ben Altria, William Guthrie and Lewis Mason. CSA Team Pass Up is in 3rd position, followed by Type 2 Racing IMB and Crest Autosport A in 5th position. So there we go, that's a lot of the housekeeping over and done with. There's quite a lot to do in this league, as you can imagine. But we join the drivers on the track for their final moments in practice before we head into qualifying. And as we mentioned, we will have a 20-minute qualifying session that will start on the hour. That'll be 20 minutes as we mentioned, and it is an open session in that qualifying, which means all drivers are out on the track at the same time, as we see a spin from one of our drivers on the track there. It just goes to show that this is quite a tricky track, actually. It seems basic in its layout, but it is such a nightmare to get the trick of this track. But there's our championship leader. As we mentioned about the format, the sprint race will be at 20 minutes past the hour, and that will follow with a feature race. So, fastest in practice at the moment. Two of our big hitters in this championship. We've got William Guthrie in 1st position, followed by John Berry in the silver category as top of silvers, bronze, Andrew Allen. And actually, bronze, Andrew Allen, the leader of bronze right now, is actually 15th overall. And the reason I mention overall is because the starting grid for the opening race of the night will not be split into categories. It will be an overall singular grid. So it can be a very hectic start to these sprint races in this championship, but also it can be a very exciting start to some of these races. But Andrew Allen is far and ahead of his rivals in the bronze category in terms of positions in practice right now, so that's looking good for him as we head into qualifying. Final moments of practice here. The drivers have got to put it all together in qualifying next of all. And we'll all be pleased to know, well, the drivers are pleased to know, I think, anyway. I haven't met many drivers who actually said they liked the wet, but there is no threat of rain at the moment here in Spain. It's been very hot, as I've heard from other drivers and people I know that live in Spain. So, yes, let's see what happens tonight. It should stay dry. I can't imagine this track in the wet. It wouldn't be very nice to speed. It's not one of my favourite tracks. But we did see this track hosted a couple of seasons ago, season 5 I believe it was, when it was the prototypes this track featured. It was one of the later rounds, and it was this layout we used as well. It's because we had the prototypes, and generally the prototypes are a bit better on the less cornery circuits. drivers out for qualifying at the moment, getting a warm-up, and it does take a few laps for the tyres to warm up in iRacing in general nowadays, not just on these GT3 cars. We see Harry Langford here in amongst other drivers and leading the championship at the moment in gold categories. He makes his way past the Porsche, and I have actually heard that the Porsche is demoralisingly slow, is what I would describe the drivers who have talked about it on Discord. It just seems very slow here tonight, is what the Porsche drivers are telling me. The technicals behind that I'm not entirely sure about. I'm just a commentator, but it'd be interesting to see how the Porsches get on tonight, if they can actually get on well at all with the track tonight. Now, normally we do the first full lap on board, but because the tyres take longer to warm up, we'll do another warm-up lap with Langford, and then we'll do a guided tour of the track. A lot of cloud cover over the circuit right now. Let's see what the track temperature is at the moment. The cooler it is, generally the faster the cars can go. 20 degrees track temperature at the moment as we see a car off on the side then. I think that might have been Wesley Lewin off on the side then. Benjamin McCluskey, he's normally one of the first out of the blocks. He's well and truly out on his own right there. He likes to get out early, he likes to get alone out on the track to get the early laps in. And currently he's got the fastest first sector, although these laps are not fully representative of what we expect to see. There's a little lift going around turn number 12 there, I believe it was. Let's get the track map up. And we will see drivers heading around that track on the track map very shortly, once more laps start rolling in. So let's get an onboard lap with our championship leader heading into tonight, Harry Langford, in his Type 2 Racing Mustang. New team this season. He was with Quatermass Racing and he's now with Type 2. So here we go, the final corner, turn 16. Nice late apex and then flat on the floor and touching the outside curb. You can actually go over the track limits quite, well, I say the track limits, the white line quite a lot on this circuit. Into turn 1. There's no names, I believe, for any of the corners on this track. Here we go into turn 2. Flat out right-hander, bleeding out to the left, and then a slight lift. Ever so slightly a lift going into turn 3. Now turn number 4. One of the hardest corners on the circuit because you're braking whilst turning. You're trail braking as you head towards turn number 5. And it's a corner you can't go too fast through. It feels quite deceptive, your pace through that corner. But it is one of the slowest corners of the circuit, along with this one, turn number 7. And then as we head down the hill, will be another one of the slow corners on this circuit. Turn number 8 and 9. Downhill braking into turn 8. Heavy braking into 9. Slowest corner on the circuit. But now we open up the taps. We unload the steering around turn number 10 now. I think there was a flip at the throttle there. But around turn 10 now into turn 11. Flatter all the way down this straight now towards the final corner. Track map is not quite working, unfortunately. Oh, now it is. We head into the final corner. What speed are we going to get? 170 we hit down that back straight then. Some of the high speeds we'll see this season. And that is a lap of the Motorland Aragon circuit outer layout from Harry Langford. And with that, it is currently pole position, top of the pops at the moment. But we have got another driver to keep an eye on, and that's William Guthrie, who hasn't set a valid lap yet. But when he does, it may well be pretty good. As we see John Berry's gone to purple in all sectors, but I can't see him on the board. It might have actually been an invalid lap. I'm not entirely sure, but look out for William Guthrie out there. He's on a fine bit of form. He was the top scorer in round 2 at Interlagos, and he was the winner of the last race, the endurance round at Road America. So in good form as we head into tonight, and he'll be looking to take the lead in the championship tonight with a good round here. Adrian Ruiz Hernandez is on home turf tonight. He follows one of the Porsches through the midsection here of the track. He'll be hoping for a good round tonight, and so far he's quicker than all the silver category drivers, and he's in the bronze category, but there's a bit of traffic ahead of him which won't be helping him right now. Let's switch back to William Guthrie, as other drivers are on yellow and green sectors, so there may be even quicker lap times soon. We did see 1:33s in practice, so let's see what we get. And there we are in the 1:33s. That's Benji McCluskey, the defending champion, on that 1:33 now. And William Guthrie will cross the line. He goes second with a 1:33. But Harry Langford also in the 1:33s, but that's a 0.9, and that is slower than William Guthrie and Benji McCluskey at the moment. These three really are tightly locked when it comes to times this season, and it's going to be so exciting to see this season unfold between these three drivers. Meanwhile, in the bronze category, the top three drivers in this category are so far quicker than any driver in silvers right now. Fantastic driving from the bronze category drivers. Andrew Allen, third in the championship. I nearly said championship leader, and I had to correct myself, and my brain wouldn't work. He has started the season rather well. He hasn't won any races yet, actually, but has led the championship so far this season once, and I think that was heading out of round one. Super consistent rounds. Andy Priol didn't need to win many races to win the championship 3 times in WTCC. I always refer to that. But we'll see how Andrew Ellen gets on tonight. He was quickest in practice. Nigel Stock with a good time at the moment, but that has just been eclipsed by Jeffrey Kruger. Welcome back, Jeffrey. He wasn't racing last time at Road America, but this is a guy who's won the bronze category in the past, has nearly won the silver category previously. Tonight he's going for it in silver category, going for top in silver category to get his championship back on track. Now there are drop rounds also to be considered. With that, drivers can miss a round, or if they attend all rounds, their worst scoring round will be reverted to 0, and that even up to the championship essentially means that only 9 of your 10 rounds will count. And I think final round at Spa cannot count as a drop round. Now championship leader Harry Langford has gone back to the top of the table here. That's a really, really good time, and it's 29 thousandths clear of Benji McCluskey, which really isn't that much at all, and a further 29 thousandths clear of William Guthrie. That's how tight the margins are at the top of the table. Bronze category is still Andrew Allen at the top, and Kurt Van Honecker has had a good start here in the Ken Block inspired livery there. Kurt Van Honecker has won a few rounds in bronze category over the seasons. As we look to silver category, Elwin Sykes-Lane, we haven't actually mentioned that much this season, into second, right behind teammate Jeffrey Kruger in the standings. Good start to qualifying for the CSA team drivers, Kruger and Sykes. But I believe it is the 3 drivers who are quickest in practice, who are quickest in qualifying at the moment. I'm just checking on the silver category in case I'm wrong about that. Oh, I've got to feel it. We'll find out later. A 1:33.6. Harry Langford is cooking at the moment as we're heading towards the halfway point of the session, and now might be a good point actually as the standings are shuffling up a little bit. And we're going to switch over to the overall standings now, but you can still see on the timing tower who's in what category by the background colour of the positions. Yellow being gold, grey being silver, and a strange red-brown colour being bronze. You get the point. That will signal what category they are in. And as you can see, Andrew Allen really is in a good spot, because the more drivers you've got between yourself and your rivals in your own category, and I mean drivers who are outside of your category between you and drivers within your category, that's good because it keeps you safe in your position to a degree. And that's what you'll want. More drivers between him and others in his category. And so far, that's looking pretty good. Stefan Wessels up to second position in qualifying right now. He's had a up and down start to the season, I would say. His best result, I think, was feature race second place at Interlagos. But a previous champion is Stefan Wessels. That was season 7. Dramatic circumstances, but he ended up being a champion at NXTGEN Racing, and he desperately wants that back. He needs a few really good rounds to get his championship back on track. The usual suspects in the top 4 of the gold category at the moment, but it's John Berry to the top of silver category, 13th place overall as well. Really good time from John Berry. He was the winner last time out at Road America. Full points, 52 points, and second in the championship as we head into tonight. And look at that, 5th place now overall. Didn't have any slipstream ahead of him either. He's done that organically. That's a fantastic time. That is going to shake up, shiver up, and scare almost the silver category drivers. They've got to put the shift in now to get a better lap in. Nigel Stock had a good third sector there. Not such a good second and fourth, though. He does go up to 4th in category, 20th in the standings. So not a bad lap from Nigel, but I feel like there's more in the tank for him there. Perhaps the Corvette there, very nice looking Corvette, might be a bit of a dark horse in this race. There's not many drivers in the Corvette in this series, Nigel Stock being one of them. Others, Stephen de Gravelia is another, and Klaas Vellen. A lot of gold category drivers. Oh, as we see a spin from Nigel, this definitely won't be a better lap than the previous one. But a lot of gold category drivers in the top 15, all disrupted by John Berry in 5th place there. So many drivers out on the track. Our attendance tonight sits at 44 at the moment, so a bit less than our last round, but I imagine this is the track that people will choose to miss this season, not being most people's favourite, but as we see going wide there was Langford. I feel that was purposeful, just trying to get out of the way of some traffic, and then he'll resume. If we look at the gaps across the field, the top 18 are within a second. Langford at the moment with the real benchmark time of 1:33.6, 10th and a half clear of nearest rival Stefan Wessels. John Berry a long way clear of any silver category driver at the moment, but we'll see if any drivers can put in some better laps. There's a couple of yellow sectors appearing out there. A lot of drivers have been in the pits to get fresh tyres, and it will take a few laps to warm them up. Andrew Allen still holds a comfortable lead in the bronze category, qualifying at the moment. If we look down to nearest rival, that is Gabriel Papaconstantino. Last time we saw him was at Interlagos, where he had a double race win that week. He's second, and he's quite a few places down. He's 27th to Andrew Allen's 19th at the moment. So we are just waiting for a few more good laps to roll in shortly. The drivers are warming up their tyres still. Neil Forbes we're watching right there in the middle of our screen. Well, we were watching him. Let's go back to him. Neil Forbes had a good start to the endurance last time out. It didn't quite work out for him, no. He was contending for the top spots, though, for quite a lot of that endurance race. He's 4th right now in silvers, so we'll see how he gets on tonight. Okay, head over to this part of the track. We've got Jack Pittas Wandering down the main straight here. I think he's pulling out the way to let some other drivers through. His teammate is back here, so he might be trying to line in with him and work together on some faster laps. Tends to be what the teammates do in a series like this. Now Kieran Davidson is on a pretty good lap here. Crosses the line. It's a very good third sector. But actually doesn't go quicker. It's 9th still. Sorry, 10th, but 9th in category. Quinton Clumpert moves up the standings up to 5th and 22nd overall. Did start late in the season, did not attend round 1, but started the season and started his next gen career in round 2, and has had a pretty good start to the season so far, actually. In the silver category, is 7th in the championship, so not a bad start for someone who's missed around at the moment. So we are in the final phases of qualifying. We could be heading on to the final lap very shortly for these drivers. There's a driver off on the side there in the back. I couldn't quite work out who that was. It was a very emphatic way to join the pit lane. A lot of drivers pairing up here. You can see 2 Type 2 cars just past our screen then. And you've got the 2 NXTGEN Racing TNG sponsored cars there. That's Benji McCluskey behind teammate Gaz Williams to try and get a bit of slipstream to help get ahead of Harry Langford. There's a tactical swap of positions here. McCluskey moves by. It's not a faster lap though. There's still drivers warming up their tyres out there. Langford crosses the line. Invalid lap. Oh, lost the rear end a little bit there, but no sweat. He'll hang on to that. Langford's looking good for pole position at the moment, unless something changes in the next 2 minutes. Gabriel Papaconstantino is top of bronze category, and he's in the pits right now, so he's called it a day on qualifying. And actually, Andrew Allen is also in the pits, so it's down to other drivers in bronze category to beat those two. But Gabriel Papaconstantino, very, very great start tonight. Quicker than all but one silver category driver, as well as all bronze category drivers. That is a way to start your round 4 off. Stefan Vessels backs off. I think he's waiting for the best gap between himself and drivers in front. What about Benji McCluskey? Bit of slipstream from the 2 cars up ahead. Oh, and it's a spin for McCluskey. That's going to be it. That is going to be any chance of pole position gone now, as Benji McCluskey loses it in the final corner there. So there we go. The rest of this session will be a practice for Benji McCluskey. And Harry Langford has called it a day. He's in the pits. He must think he's done enough, or can't do more. Stefan Vessels is out on the track at the moment. I feel like he probably is the only person who can beat Langford now, as William Guthrie is also in the pits. William Guthrie was very quick in practice, couldn't quite replicate that in qualifying here, but qualifying is one thing, race is another, and pole position in each category will get one juicy bonus point to go with it. And the driver that has stood out amongst them all is John Berry here. 6th position overall in amongst 15 other gold category drivers. That's a fantastic start. Him and Gabriel Papaconstantino have been standouts in this session so far. But let's see if any other drama happens. There's not a lot of drivers going quicker at the moment. Championship leader Alan McCain crosses the line. It's only 7th in category, 26th on the road at the moment for the championship leader, but he's struggling tonight. He has admitted on Discord that he's struggling with the Porsche on this track, and that's what I was mentioning earlier. The Porsche just seems to be at some sort of a disadvantage on this track tonight, and he might be suffering from that. Adrian Ruiz Hernandez just crossed the line. He's in 3rd in category, 25th on the road, which is around about halfway up the field, but a good start to the night on his home round. Benjamin McCluskey crosses the line. It is not quicker, it is very slow compared to his fastest, and not a lot of drivers improving. Some are, but a lot aren't. So that might be it for qualifying. Actually, not a very exciting end to qualifying, but we do have championship leader Harry Langford at the top. It actually extends his championship lead just a tad. By 1 bonus point, that is, you get from qualifying. And there are no drivers on gold sectors at the moment. I think this driver's just getting a little bit of extra practice in because there is no warm-up before we head into the race. As soon as they finish qualifying, stay in the car, you grid up for the race. And remember, it will be one singular grid, no split grids for this opening race of the night. But we will have a split grouped grid for the feature race later on. That will be qualifying, and we will head into the race shortly after the drivers have finished their final moments of qualifying. But I would say an interesting session in the sense that laps 3 and 4 were the quickest laps. Well, 3, 4 and 5 maybe for these drivers, and then that was it. They just could not hook it up again for the rest of the session. But without further ado, here is our grid for the opening race of the night, the sprint race. Harry Langford is on pole position with Stefan Vessels alongside. Benji McCluskey, defending champion, is 3rd, with William Guthrie, last round winner, is 4th. Jack Pittas 5th, with Gaz Williams in 6th. Brandon Vincent Squibb in 7th, followed by Ben Altria. Kieran Davidson in 9th, with Phil McDougall in 10th. George Plaster in 11th, with Adam Wilson-Weir in 12th. 13th, Jason Raff, with Craig Twardock on his first round of the season tonight, is 14th. Matt Cheverton in 15th, with David Price in 16th. Gavin Gardner 17th, and Klaas Vellen in 18th. And I've just realised we're looking at the class grids, not the overall grid. I completely apologise. It's been a long day. John Berry is in 6th position, and all the other drivers we just mentioned have moved down 1 spot from what I called out. So let's carry on from Gabriel Papaconstantino in 17th position, with Jeffrey Kruger in 18th. Stein Vaten's a very good qualifying for him in 19th, with Andrew Allen in 20th. Neil Forbes 21st, with Elwyn Sykes in 22nd. David Price 23rd, with Quinton Klumper in 24th. 25th is Gavin Gardner, with Adrian Ruiz Hernandez in 26th. Alan McCain, championship leader at the Silvers, is 27th, with teammate Nigel Stock alongside in 28th. Kurt Van Honecker in 29th, with Klaas Vellen 30th. Matthew Addy is in 31st, with Jochen Siegert in 32nd. Stephen de Gravelia in 33rd, with Mark Baker in 34th. Stephen Fry in 35th, with Josh Downing in 36th. 37th is Wesley Lewin, with Shamoy Samuel in 38th. Mike Reedner in 39th, with Matt Gatter in 40th. Rob Savage in 41st, with Leslie Brazil in 42nd. 43rd is Davide Favo, and Ryan Blackwell in 44th. That's our grid, and this is the opening race of the night here at Motorland Aragon in northeast Spain. Round 4 of the championship. And we are back to the sprint and feature race formats. Here we go, we will move off the grid very shortly. And we are on the back straight here, so it's a very short formation lap. Not much opportunity to warm up the tyres. But as soon as the drivers get going, they are nearing starting the race. Which means it's important that the drivers at the back of the grid get moved off of their starting spots. And then they pretty much will have to floor it because they are near start as soon as they get moving. So Langford will lead us to the line with pole position tonight. I tell you what, he really has turned it up a gear this season, and he's looking difficult to beat. Can he get it? And he, in fact, Hasn't won a race yet this season, I believe. Can he get it? There's plenty of rounds left, and it might all start here. The sprint race here at Motorland Aragon is about to start. Round 4 of the NXTGEN GT3 Championship. And away we go with this opening round, and that's a great start from William Guthrie. He's right in between McCluskey and Vessels. We head to turn number 1. 3 wide between those 3 names. The big names of this championship is Vessels washes out a little bit wide, and he will drop to 4th place. 2 places dropped already for the South African driver. Meanwhile, John Berry is still in 6th place in the silver category, and overall on this overall here so far, Gabriel Papaconstantino is 19th as he gets taken by Neil Forbes there, and there is a spin up ahead. That's Benji McCluskey who has spun it, and we're just trying to catch his name as he falls down the order, and there he is off the road. Let's get a look at what's happened to him there, and it looks like it might have been contact with William Guthrie. Here we go, heading into the difficult left-hander. Guthrie chucks it. No, he doesn't. No, McCluskey loses it, actually, himself. Cold tyres, and he's just turned him round, and now he is well down the order, and he's going to have to go on the charge here to get it all back. Meanwhile, that completely shuffles up the top. Langford's clear with teammate Pettas behind, and look who's in 3rd place overall here. It's John Berry in the silver category, and he's making a move for 2nd place overall on the inside for the final corner, and you know what, he might just have it here, provided the car keeps hold around this final corner. And I believe he's through, and this really has shuffled up the order here. Brandon Vincent Squibb has a mechanical flag. He's limping on the side there, and he's going to have to get it back to the pits for a fast repair, which is allowed in this series. It's a magic wand that turns your car back to normal, and we have had another car off. I think that's Kieran Davidson, who's in the wall there. So this has been a very difficult opening lap for all these drivers. Let's just see what happened to Kieran Davidson, because it was a little bit out of our view then. So you see there on the side, Nigel Stock avoiding Brandon Vincent Squibb. And Kieran Davidson's a bit isolated there, and he gets rear-ended by, I think that's Neil Forbes, who obviously couldn't see what was going on up ahead. But that's a lot of drivers affected really early on in this race. And we are under full course yellow conditions here, as the track gets a little bit cleaned up, and we'll have to resume racing very shortly. But while the track gets cleaned up, these drivers have to be at very slow speeds. But this is really, really jumbled up our order. We'll stay on the overall stands at the moment just to monitor all of that. But look how much the bronze category drivers have gained as a result of a lot of gold category drivers falling by the wayside. William Guthrie is out of sight here. So's Benji McCluskey. Stefan Vessels is out of the race as well. A very, very strange start to this race indeed. But the hero of the hour at the moment, and it is a full safety car actually, that is Jamie Dory at the front leading the pack. That's how severe things were out there that they called a full safety car. The first we've seen of the season actually. But this will bunch up the field a little bit. I suppose that helps the likes of William Guthrie, who's here down in 31st place. And Benji McCluskey, who is in 24th overall now. But this has thrown a very big bone for Harry Langford. He's got a big opportunity to gain some points away from his rivals, one of which is retired. That's Stefan Vessels, who just can't catch a break at the moment this season, it seems. Going to keep an eye on this, see if the safety car peels off. I don't have any intel on this stuff in my ears. If we can, we'll go to see what happened to William Guthrie, because we saw what happened to Benji McCluskey. Safety car stays out at the moment. So this is what's happened to William Guthrie, because I didn't quite see how he fell down the standing, and that is not it. It'll be a bit further down. I can't actually see if anything's happened to William Guthrie. We'll see if we can find what's happened to William Guthrie out there, because I'm curious to know why he's dropped so many positions. So that is Benjamin Kluski going off, and William Guthrie goes across the grass. Oh, there we go. He spins it immediately after. We didn't actually see that. Oh, and how everyone's avoided him at the moment is incredible, and that's what's dropped him all them positions. So Langford must have eyes like dinner plates right now, seeing all of his rivals farther down the order. But our number one drivers in each category right now, as we're under safety car conditions: Harry Langford in gold, right behind in silver. Leader of silver is John Berry, and 11th place overall, but first in bronze, Gabriele Papaconstantino. There are three drivers that I would say are hot favourites for each of the championships. Also have a Type 2 Racing 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment. The team with the strongest contingent of drivers on the grid. They'll be very happy to see that. But the problem with this safety car now is all the tyres will have cooled down, and they've got to warm them back up again, which means a few tentative laps. And I do believe we are now going to have a race resumption, as the safety car looks to be pulling away a little bit. In fact, it is, and we will get back to racing very shortly. First full safety car we've seen this season, and look at that, Langford frantically trying to warm the tyres already. It's going to take more than that though. Speed through the corners is what warms up the tyres, and they're just not getting it yet. So here we go, we'll resume racing very shortly. Single file restart, as it normally is after safety cars. And the timer does not stop for safety cars either, which means that a lot of the race has expired. And we're away. The resumption of the sprint race here, and drivers already defending the inside of these corners. Drivers going to be very tentative through these first few corners, with the tyres being very cold. They've seen other drivers fall by the wayside. But now we head through turns number 4 and 5. This will be the trickiest part on the circuit for a lot of these drivers. Going very wide there was Langford. A lot of drivers going a little bit wider than they normally would. Let's check in on Benjamin McCluskey in 21st right now, whereas William Guthrie making a move on Leslie Brazil then, up to 28th. Stefan Vessels is out of this race now, I can confirm. Right, let's switch over to the grouped class standings. We are not necessarily looking at overall, because in the points they score for their category. So even though John Berry is second overall right now, it doesn't make a difference to him as long as he's first in category. That's the points he'll score. And look at this back here. That's Matthew Cheverton making a move off the track on Craig Tordog, and they're both making contact with each other, and Tordog does really not want Cheverton on his inside there, but Cheverton gets through, and whether the stewards will deem that legal, and in fact I think he's just let him back pass. And here's a spin. I think that's Nigel Stock who's just spun it. Yes, he has, and in the wall goes Nigel Stock, and this is what's happened to him. Nigel Stock, one of the unluckiest drivers in the championship. Oh, too much speed into the corner, and it's just given way on the outside on the marbles. And that's it, that's game over. Drivers carry on, no safety car or four-course yellow for the moment. Langford with a sizable lead at the moment of 1.2 seconds over Jack Pittas. who's now ahead of John Berry. But the 4 of these are teammates. And you know what? Adam Wilson-Weir is in 3rd right now in gold category. This will be, if it continues, his best result in gold category since being promoted to that category when he won the bronze category championship in season 7. He was fast-tracked beyond silver and into gold category, and he's done rather well since joining that category. Might we see John Berry in the gold category soon? Well, the way this is going, definitely for season 10. Meanwhile, in the bronze category, we've got Gabriel Papaconstantino here leading the category, but we got hometown hero Adrian Ruiz Hernandez in 2nd place, not too far behind. Side by side between Josh Downing and Klaas Vellen, but they've got behind them Benji McCluskey, hungry to get back into the highest spots in this race. I think we've had drama back here. We have. That's Ben Altria coasting away. An incident here potentially with Wesley Lewin, and I think to the left that is Ben Altria. Oh, a bit of, no, there we go. One of them moved left or one of them moved right, and it made contact and completely sent them off. Back to the action though. Only half a second between Papaconstantino and the hometown hero Hernandez. And a real big shuffle up in this race at the moment. We saw a big shuffle up at the start of the previous race at Road America, but that was due to the weather. This is just purely down to lack of grip, I feel. Drivers getting past others through others' mistakes, and I think that's Kieran Davidson we've seen falling down the order there. He spun in the background. Such low grip out there at this circuit, and this is a replay of it. I guess it gives way under braking. Yep, it does. There's a certain way you've got to turn your car into the corner in these GT3s on iRacing, especially in low temperature conditions like it is right now, that it's hard to explain. But once you feel it go, you can't catch it. That's how hard it feels to catch a slide like that in iRacing. Fast lap of the race at the moment for Jack Pittas. 2nd place for him at the moment. Real good start at the moment. Gabriel Papaconstantino is battling now with Adrian Ruiz Hernandez. Hernandez was very quick at Mexico City a few rounds ago, was pole position in that race, but has not won a race since, and at the moment he's looking for a win right from the word go at his home circuit. But he's got to get past Papaconstantino in the Lamborghini. And Papaconstantino is a frequent winner in the bronze category. He knows how to do this. Oh, but no. If that wasn't a commentator's curse, I don't know what was. Papaconstantino spins it there at turn number 7. That's caught a lot of drivers tonight. This is what happened. I think he spun on his own, similar to what we saw of a driver just a few moments ago. Yep, it just lets go, and he did catch that initially, but it just continued to let go. And kudos to all the drivers for avoiding that. The driver that did avoid that and is now avoiding the other drivers in bronze category. This is Adrian Ruiz Hernandez, who is leading the bronze category. And the timing tower has messed up a little bit. It does say the bronze category ahead of the silvers. That's wrong. We've got 3 drivers ahead of Adrian Ruiz Hernandez in the silver category right now. And there we go. It's sorted its life out now. John Berry, 3rd overall and 1st in the silvers. 2nd in the silvers is Jeffrey Kruger. And 3rd is Quinton Klumpert. Trail of cars in the bronze category headed by Kurt Van Honecker at the moment, and they've got Jochen Siegert behind here in 4th position. This could line up to be one of Jochen's best results of the season if he can keep it going. I said if he can keep it going because I cursed the driver only a lap ago with that sort of remark. Lonely race at the moment for Langford, but he'll take this. This is good championship points for him. Adam Wilson-Weir, he's the one who'll be keeping one eye on the track and one eye on his mirrors with 5 minutes to go in this race. He holds 3rd in gold category. on course at the moment for his first podium finish in gold category, but he's got Gaz Williams, the host of the series, and a driver I've raced with many times, and I know he is a fierce racer when he wants to be. It's right behind. Here we go, down the back straight. Wilson Weir goes to the fend already, and Gaz Williams says, you know what, fine, I'll take the outside line, which is the more open line going into the final corner. Can he power around the outside? Not quite, but he might be able to get a nice little undercut here heading out of the corner. A good slipstream down this main straight here. He might, but Wilson Weir defends again. Fast slap of the race from Harry Langford, takes back the bonus point in gold category. But also with between Gaz Williams and Adam Wilson here behind, they've also got Craig Tordock to worry about. Newcomer for tonight. He did race some rounds last season as well, so he's not a complete newcomer to this series. He is also the highest placed Porsche driver in the field right now. The reason that's worth mentioning is because the Porsche is rumoured to be quite an underperforming car on this track at the moment. To check back in with the drivers who struggled at the start of the race, William Guthrie is up to 11th place, and up to 9th place in category, that is Benji McCluskey. So they are retaking some points, but they'll be frustrated with how this race has gone for themselves. Gaz Williams trying again on Wilson Weir. He's by default gone to the outside there earlier than last time, and this might actually be slightly further ahead at this point, so he might be able to try and outbrake going into this final corner. Wilson Weir has got the later braking, but Gaz Williams powers it on exit, but it's understeered off the line, and he has to try again. But Wilson Weir default still goes to the inside to defend the left side of the track for the next corner. John Berry, fast slap of the silver category, bonus point to him at the moment. Wilson Weir hangs on, goes a bit wide out of turn number 1. Gaz Williams to the outside. Can we have a better camera angle than this, please? There we go. Oh, this looks good for Gaz Williams. He'll have the inside for the next corner, and he does. He's through already. And look at that. Craig Tordock's on the inside of Wilson Weir going into turn number 4. Wilson Weir's desperately trying to hang on to it, though. He wants to fight back at Gaz Williams. And you know what? Wilson Weir will have the inside for the next corner. He might hang on to it from Craig Tordock. There we go. The Lamborghini lives on there. So third place is now Gaz Williams. Gaz Williams has a good exit there from turn number 9. He's blasted away from Wilson Weir, preventing any replication of a move that Gaz Williams made on Wilson Weir a lap ago. Now Wilson Weir is going to be in a little bit of trouble from Craig Tordock right behind there. We head down this main straight. Let's watch as that Porsche does gain on the Lamborghini, as the aforementioned moves over to defend the inside for the next corner. We're going to move on to the final lap of this race now. Oh, Tordock has tried to get it here. In fact, has he made it work? Not completely, but that was a real good move. In fact, he's done it, yes, round the outside of the final corner. Brilliant move from Craig Tordock there to take 4th place. Final lap started for Harry Langford, for what has been for him a very undramatic race. Oh, that makes me so nervous when that happens. No, stop it. Can Adam Wilson Weir fight back on Craig Tordock, though? We'll have to see. Meanwhile, if we go to the bronze category, there's a battle for 3rd place going on, as Jochen Seeger is trying to make a way past Kurt Van Honecker at the moment. Jochen Seeger hasn't finished on the bronze category podium for many seasons, actually. I can't remember the last time, but we haven't seen him on the podium in any race for a long time. So this will be a big one if he can indeed do it. We'll check back in with that very shortly. Langford has just got one more corner to go before a sprint race win, in his first race win of the season, believe it or not. Beg your pardon? No, I'm completely wrong there. He won the feature race at Interlagos, so his second race win of the season, and will extend the lead in the championship tonight. It's a win, and 4 points so far in this round for Harry Langford. His teammate Jack Pittas' best result of the season comes through second, and a brilliant third place overall, and a first place in category, silver category, for John Berry. Gaz Williams will take third position in gold category, his first podium of the season. And on home turf, Adrian Ruiz Hernandez will finish first in bronze category, his first win of the season. And others in the top three. In the silver category, Jeffrey Kruger finishes second position, and a first podium finish ever in this series for Quinton Klumper in silver category. Third for him. Josh Downing is in second place for bronze category, leader of the championship heading into tonight as well. And Kurt Van Honecker did hang on to third place from Jochen Siegert to finish third place in the Ken Block inspired Mustang. A very interesting race in that the first couple of laps brought the drama, and just to report on them, Benji McCluskey finished 8th in this race and William Guthrie 10th, so they do lose a lot of points in the championship, but drop rounds will potentially balance things out a little bit more later on down the season. But so far so good for Harry Langford. So let's head into the results, and we'll start with gold category. Harry Langford takes the win from Jack Pittas in second position, Gaz Williams in third, rounding off that podium. Craig Twardog with a fantastic move on the penultimate lap on Adam Wilson-Weir, an impressive fifth position for him. Sixth is Matt Cheverton, with Gavin Gardner in seventh position. Benjamin McCluskey recovers to 8th place with George Plaster in 9th, and William Guthrie recovers to 10th position. David Price in 11th with Klaas Vellen in 12th. 13th position is Jason Raff. Phil McDougall in 14th place, and Kieran Davidson rounds off the point scorers in 15th. Outside the points, but finishing the race, are Ben Altria and Brandon Vincent Squibb, and DNF for Stefan Vessels. Silver category now, and it is a very emphatic win for John Berry in the silvers, finishing third overall as well, just to remind you. Jeffrey Kruger in second position with Quinton Klumper, his first podium of the series and of the season. Stephen Fry in fourth place, a good drive from him to that fourth position with Elwyn Sykes in fifth. Matthew Addy is sixth from Robert Savage in seventh. Alan McCain struggles today in eighth position with Mark Baker in ninth position. Stein Vatens in 10th, followed by Neil Forbes, and a lap or more down were Nigel Stock and a DNF for Ryan Blackwell. Bronze category now, and it is a home win for Adrian Ruiz Hernandez, winning the bronze category in his first win of the season. Joshua Downing in second position, followed by Kurt Van Honecker in third. Jochen Siegert, with his best result of the season so far, is fourth. Matt Gatter, also his best result of the season, is fifth, with Shamoy Samuel in sixth. Leslie Luke Brazil in seventh. Gabriel Papaconstantino recovers to 8th following his spin a few laps from the end. Stephen de Gravelia 9th from Andrew Allen in 10th, who did start pole position for this race but fell down the order. David A. Favo in 11th with Wesley Lewin in 12th, and a DNF for Mike Reedner. This has been round 4 at Aragon. The sprint race is over and done with, and then approximately 10 minutes past the hour, we'll be back with the feature race. This has been the Next Gen Racing GT3 Season 9 Sprint Race. We'll be back with the feature race very shortly. Enjoy some Benji Sim photos in the interval, and we'll see you very shortly.
Hello and welcome to NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.
Good evening, race fans. Welcome back to the NXTGEN Racing GT3 Season 9. You join us right in the nick of time, as we have now got the sprint race, the feature race, starting next. And this is our grid. Okay, maybe not. We have to go away for a quick interval again. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We have got a new server, and I've only just seen. I did have a brief panic. Thought we were in the race, but no, we've got a short interval as the server is set wrong. We will be having a new server set up for us. So we'll be going for another quick break, and we'll be back with the feature race very, very shortly.
Hello and welcome to NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.
Well, good evening, race fans. Welcome back to NXTGEN Racing live on YouTube and live on Facebook. Apologies for the confusion previously. We had to host a new server as there was a bit of an issue with the previous one. But we're up and running. We've got 5 minutes left of warm-up here and we'll be into the feature race very shortly. But a little bit more about the series in case you missed the start of the show. This is the NXTGEN Racing 9th season of GT3s, hosted on Thursday nights by NXTGEN Racing, and if you want to get involved in these races, you can. If you scan the QR code towards the top of our screen there, that will give you access to NXTGEN Racing's Discord server. From there, you'll meet the drivers, you'll meet all the teams, you'll meet all the admins, and you can get involved in this series as well as others that NXTGEN Racing are hosting, as well, that includes GR86 races and the infamous NXTCC. And let's give a big shout out to NXTGEN Racing as well as its partners, sponsors and affiliates that help run the show here. They include PowerMax Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design and Falconer PC. We're heading into the feature race next, and this will be a 60-minute race, and it will feature pit stops. One scheduled pit stop unless anything strange happens in the race, which is not likely to happen at the moment, but we have seen stranger things happen. And this series, we saw it in the last race, there is live race control, so penalties are issued out when drivers are non-compliant with the rules, when and they are needed. But there's also forecourse yellow systems and safety cars, which are piloted by actual drivers, which means that it is an almost real-life series, and the safety car periods are not quite as long as actual iRacing safety car periods. And we did see one in the last race, that's why I'm bringing it up here. And the calendar for the season. We're in round 4 right now. We'll be heading to the final round of the first half of the season next week, and that will be hosted at the Hockenheim Ring. But tonight we're at Motorland Aragon circuit, the outer circuit, which is a variation of the FIM layout, which is what the MotoGP use. But we, on this outer layout, will skip turns 12 to 15, so it is one long back straight, and we have seen speeds in excess, actually, of 170 miles per hour on this circuit. So it's one of the fastest tracks on the calendar when it comes to straight line speed, but we're also going to be visiting Monza, Spa-Francorchamps and the Nordschleife, and Hockenheim Ring, actually, might even meet some very high speeds. So, yeah, plenty of high-speed action at this track. A relatively simplified layout to what the normal Aragon circuit features. Now drivers are out practicing at the moment, and we'll join them. Not in an actual practice, but yeah, the winners from the previous race, Harry Langford in gold category, led from light to finish, didn't really have a threat at the front there, apart from maybe lap 1. But it was a near-perfect race for Harry Langford, so let's see what can happen in the feature races. We now have reverse grids. He'll now start at the back of the gold category grid. And in the silver category, what a race for John Berry in that race, finishing 3rd overall and 1st position in class. So quite the standout performance of the season, I would say, from John Berry in that race. He has said on Discord that he has practiced a lot for tonight's race, and that's what makes perfect in a racing series like this. Practice makes perfect, and the more laps you can put in, the faster you get, and that really is how you get better on iRacing, is you put laps in. Laps equals lap time. And in the bronze category, it was a win in category for Adrian Ruiz Hernandez, his first of the season. So we'll see how he gets on in the feature race. And like I said, it will be a reverse grid of the sprint race results, but they'll be grouped in their categories. So golds will start in their group first, and Harry Langford will start at the back of that gold category. Silvers will then start next, and then bronze will start after. There's around about 5 to 10 seconds between each group starting in this feature race grid. Hashtag Berry for Gold is trending now on X, I imagine. But yeah, let's see how these guys get on in this next race, the feature race. Because it's not a singular full grid, it might mean a less chaotic start. It normally is in these feature races, but it doesn't mean that incidents are avoided. They can still happen, so we'll see what happens in this race. We've got approximately 40 drivers tonight, which is still quite a healthy grid. And next week we've got Hockenheim. We've got a double header in Germany coming up for rounds 5 and 6. But very interested in seeing what's going to happen at Nordschleife. We have raced there in the past. I think it was season 7 we last raced there, and it was round 6 of the champ. Or was it round 3? No, it was round 6 of the championship, and I believe it was round 7. Season 7, excuse me. And I'm going to have to go and re-watch that race. You can re-watch that race. It's still here on NXTGEN Racing's YouTube. It'd be good to see what that race was like and what to expect next time, which would be round 6. But tonight we've got round 7. And this is our grid. Tonight we've got round 4. Sorry. It's been a long day. And this is our grid for round 4, the feature race. Brandon Vincent Squibb will start on pole position for the gold category, and alongside him will be Ben Oucher. Kieran Davidson is 3rd with Phil McDougall in 4th position. Jason Raff will start 5th with Klaas Vellen in 6th. David Price 7th from William Guthrie, who will be looking for a big result in this race due to that lower finish than he would have wanted in the sprint race. George Flasser in 9th, and as we just mentioned with William Guthrie, Benji McCluskey will be hoping for similar, starting in 10th position. 11th is Gavin Gardner with Adam Wilson-Weir starting in 12th position. And we've got Craig Tordock in 13th, with Gaz Williams in 14th, Jack Pittas 15th, and the race winner from the previous race, Harry Langford, in 16th. And Stefan Vessels will start 17th, as he did not complete enough laps in the previous race. Nigel Stock will start pole position for the silver category, and alongside him will be Neil Forbes. Stein Vayton 3rd with Mark Baker in 4th position. Alan McCain, championship leader until the previous race, 5th position with Robert Savage in 6th. Matthew Addy in 7th with Elwyn Sykes in 8th. Stephen Fry will start 9th with Quinton Klumper in 10th position. And Jeffrey Kruger 11th. And John Berry, the previous race winner, 12th. Bronze category, Wesley Lewin will start on the pole position with Davide Favo, his teammate, alongside in 2nd. Andrew Allen, championship leader heading into tonight, will be 3rd, with Stephen de Gravelia in 4th. Gabriel Papaconstantino in 5th position with Shamoy Samuel in 6th. Matt Gatter will start 7th with Jochen Seeger in 8th. Kurt Van Honecker 9th. Joshua Downing, the championship leader heading into tonight, is 10th. And the previous race winner, sprint race winner, Adrian Ruiz Hernandez, will start 11th of the bronze category. Feature race about to get up and started. It's a 1-hour race, 60 minutes, 1 scheduled pit stop. And normally those pit stops come between the 30 and 35 minute mark, unless anything strange happens, which I can't imagine will happen tonight. But I have plagued the commentator's curse once tonight. Drivers move off. Now, gold category is going to be very interesting to watch because we've got William Guthrie and Benji McCluskey starting further forward than they normally do in these feature races. In the gold category, we've got to see how John Berry gets on. Outright fastest in silver category tonight, but can he move through the pack fast enough? That's a whole different game, that is. And bronze category, I feel like anyone can win that. It is such a toss-up in that category of who is the outright best driver in that category. But in the gold, we're about to get underway for this feature race. Brandon Vincent Squibb will lead us to the line. And we are away, and it doesn't look like an exceptional start from Vincent Squibb. Ben Oucher is on his outside as they head into turn number 1. Oh, and there is a spin in the mid. That is Phil McDougall is off the track and already far behind. Now the silver category will get going. Nigel Stock will lead us to the flag. And away we go. Keep an eye on John Berry in the back. playing it conservative at the moment, but it's Neil Forbes who's going to go into turn 1 as the leader. Through he goes past Nigel Stock. Bronze category is next to get going. Wesley Lewin will lead us to the line with his teammate Davide Favo alongside. And off they go. And already nipping out and trying to look to the inside is Steven de Gravelia. Oh, look at him go. It was 4 wide for just a moment there. And that's a brilliant move from Steven de Gravelia. Up 2 places. And he's already rivaling first place as we head around the next 2 corners. Steven de Gravelia starting 4th. Has had a miraculous start here. But no, it's undone. Off the track he goes. Contact between him and Wesley Lewin, and he's off the track. This is a replay of it. We'll catch up with the rest of the pack very shortly. But let's just see what happened between these 2 drivers. Oh, unfortunately, I think Steven de Gravelia might not have left enough room on the apex. From our angle, it looked like that anyway. But that was looking like a great start for Steven, but not to be. Now a whole lap's completed in the gold category already. Ben Altria, who hasn't won a race since I think Sebring in Season 8, is off to a great start in this race. I might be wrong about his last win, but correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, please. Good start to this race. And Nigel Stock is back in front, past Neil Forbes on that previous lap. He's back in the lead of this race. William Guthrie is up to 4th place in gold category. Benji McCluskey up to 5th. Previous race winner, Harry Langford, is up to 10th already. Just made his way past Gassed Up Motorsports driver George Plaster. But George Plaster's challenging back to the inside on the next corner. And Harry Langford's back down to 11th. William Guthrie is always so good at moving through the pack at the start of the race. And this, so far, is a pretty good start to this race. Ben Altria with a commanding lead of 3 seconds now at the front. Meanwhile, bronze category. Nigel Stock leads, Neil Forbes behind, Stein Vatens in 3rd. Alan McCain, leader of the championship here in 5th, but Jeffrey Kruger has had a good start to this race. 6th place, was 2nd place in the previous race, and John Berry is already up to 8th place. Side by side between Kieran Davidson and Brandon Vincent Squibb as they head into the final corner. Davidson's through and into 2nd place. William Guthrie is lurking around behind these 2 though. Already he could find himself on the podium spots if he can get this move done soon. Gabriel Papaconstantino has a black flag that might have been issued by the stewards. It might have been for an incident. Oh, as we go back to silver category, Neil Forbes is back in front of Nigel Stock. And this is how it happened. Slipstreaming down the main straight there. Nigel Stock trying to defend it. To the outside goes Forbes, and Nigel Stock is still on the inside. Needs to get over before the braking zone. He's definitely not over enough, and that's a very difficult line to take into the corner for both of them, actually. But Neil Forbes has come out in front. But can Stock challenge it back? We'll have to see. Now Papaconstantino nips into the pits. He has got a black flag for an instant. We're not entirely sure. We don't gather information, but that is going to lose him a lot of ground. As Shamoy Samuel takes 2nd place. Jochen Siegert trying to take 3rd place past Davide Fava, but he spins on the exit of the corner, and that has undone that hard effort there for 3rd place. Fava gets away with it. He's in 3rd, but Shamoy Samuel has gapped him a little bit already in the last few corners. Ruiz Hernandez is up to 7th so far, and he's challenging championship leader, and through he goes. Into 6th place goes the sprint race winner on home turf today, Ruiz Hernandez. Gold category, Brandon Vincent Squibb is falling behind McCluskey and Guthrie. Guthrie is now challenging potentially for 2nd place in this race already. Harry Langford is up to 9th at the moment. He was the sprint race winner. Let's stick with William Guthrie for the moment. Tell you what, we'll come back to that. Jeffrey Kruger. Whoa, Jeffrey Kruger off the track there. Somehow he keeps that going. Let's just get another replay of that to see what's happened there. As he was moving past Alan McCain. That's Alan McCain on the outside. Inside left is Kruger. McCain understeers off. There goes Kruger. Oh, he bounces off the curb and there's contact between him and McCain. Somehow Kruger did not spin and he did not put it in the wall, but there might be damage on the pair of their cars there. Kruger and McCain now ahead of Kruger. And Stefan Vessels is in the pits. Something's happened to him. He's had a rotten night at the moment. He rejoins the track, but a long way down the order. He has had rotten luck at the moment. But up ahead here, this is Ruiz Hernandez trying to make his way past Andrew Allen, and I think he has. Now he's going to try for Davide Fava, and it's contact between the three of them. Terrible late braking from whoever the driver was at the back. And it's, well, actually, I think the cars have auto-repaired. They have, but Davide Fava has dropped down a position. I think that was Andrew Allen who came in a bit kamikaze then. And we have got black flags also in the gold category. Kieran Davidson, Brandon Vincent Squibb and Ben Altria have black flags. I wonder if they're starting infringements, because Ben Altria hasn't been involved in anyone in this race at the moment. So that promotes William Guthrie to P1. Wow, what drama. What drama. Phil McDougall also has a black flag. He started towards the front of gold category as well. I'm just trying to hear back from the stewards now to see what happens with those gold category drivers, all with black flags. Still yet to serve them, actually. Jason Raff is another. And it was a starting infringement. They were all above 60 miles per hour before the start of the race, which means they received drive-through penalties instantaneously, and a lot of drivers received them, and a lot of drivers, their progress is hampered. Ben Altria being one of them, now in 15th, was leading the race commandingly. So this will be Kieran Davidson. Oh, and we got an instant back there. That's Brandon Vincent Squibb. Not only does he have a black flag, but he's facing the wrong way now. And this is what's happened to him. Now, he's at the front here, and there's two cars side by side behind. Now it goes three wide. Brandon Vincent Squibb tried to get away with it, but then additional contact. I think that was Jason Raff and someone else. But Brandon Vincent Squibb did the right thing and backed off on the outside, but he was a passenger in that. But at the front here, we have got William Guthrie and Benji McCluskey at the front, what they probably wanted from the sprint race. But they didn't quite get it. But back into third place here is Adam Wilson-Weir, having a real good night. And Harry Langford up into fourth place. A dream night at the moment for Langford. And if he can stick close to McCluskey and Guthrie, he can try and work on an undercut or overcut, whichever one works best at this track. Remains yet to be seen. But he is within distance of McCluskey and Guthrie. That's good enough to maintain a good championship point gap. Back to the Silvers. We haven't mentioned them for a while. Forbes still leads from stock. Vatons, Baker. We also have Jeffrey Kruger behind, and John Berry, the previous race winner, is in sixth, not too far behind this pack. So John Berry keeps up the pace. He has a shot at maybe winning this race still. They're all within a second of each other. And in the bronze category, Wesley Lewin leads this race at the moment, but Shamoy Samuel has been gaining, and actually gained nearly a second on Wesley Lewin in the last lap. So Shamoy Samuel hasn't won a race yet, and in fact Virtual Circuit Racing, I believe, haven't won a race in any category yet this season, so this might be their best opportunity to get there first, both for the team and Shamoy himself. So let's monitor this closely. Wesley Lewin, I can't actually remember the last time Wesley Lewin won a race in bronze category. And Andrew Allen has a black flag. And I imagine that is for the incident we saw just a moment ago. We have got an incident for Alan McCain. And he's having a rotten night at the moment. He wasn't feeling too good about this track and his car heading into tonight. Oh, and he bounces across the curb. Cut the corner too much, and that's it. The car is just bobbled off the track. So silver category, this is going to be very interesting between these drivers. All of these are capable of winning this race. But who's it going to be? They seem quite tightly knit at the moment. William Guthrie leads this race, sets fastest lap, and Harry Langford here has taken third place. And look at this, between Adam Wilson-Weir and Gavin Gardner. But Harry Langford, he is where he needs to be. Third place, just behind, a bit down the road, but behind McCluskey and Guthrie, minimising the points he'll lose to them. The hardest part of the race is pretty much over for Langford at this point. Now it's about getting it to the end, and if he can optimise strategy, that'll be what he needs to do. Now Langford won the feature race at Interlagos. In the interval I did manage to remember it, whilst I was incorrect in information earlier saying that it was his first win of the season in the sprint. It wasn't. Interlagos, the feature race, he did go into the pit as the, or just after a full course caution was called, and it therefore meant that he lost a lot less time in the pits. That ultimately won him the race, as well as his pace alone as well is pretty good. Now in the bronze category, this is looking fairly close between all these drivers. Wesley Lewin still leading, but Shmoy Samuel not too far behind. Matt Gatter holding third place here, but Kurt Van Honecker, who's third in the previous race, is all over the back. And the winner of the previous race, Adrian Ruiz Hernandez, is in fifth. This is a brilliant night so far for Hernandez on his home track. And he's going to take to the inside of Kurt Van Honecker. Real late braking move, and there's nothing Kurt Van Honecker can do about that. Brilliant move from Hernandez to go through into fourth place. He is cooking tonight. This is Kruger looking to the inside of Mark Bacon. They've also got John Berry to their outside. 3 wide going through this final corner. Oh, and look at that. A big undercut attempted from John Berry, and he realised there was a big, I don't know what it is, it's like a lump on the inside of the curb, and he realised it was there and swerved to avoid it, keeping hold of the car. But Mark Baker and Kruger still side by side. Kruger gets in front, and he now holds that fourth place, but John Berry has got to try and find a way around, and he knows Kruger is quick. He doesn't want to let him get up the road too much too soon. Let's see if there's a move heading into this next corner. Not quite. It's an opportunity. Oh no, and a big spin around there for Mark Baker. He lost that himself, but it just gave way on the exit of the corner, pushing a bit too hard. But that's how John Berry has got it done. A little easier than he probably thought. But he's up to fifth, and he's behind Jeffrey Kruger now. This is the bronze category battle. Shmoy Samuel right behind Wesley Lewin. Let's see if there's going to be a move coming soon. He's looking very quick at the moment compared to Lewin is Samuel. Oh, and a spin back there. That's Matt Gatter, and he's in the wall. He was looking good in third place as well. That is such a shame for him. Oh, and there we go. Shmoy Samuel is through. Thank you for distracting us, Matt. So here is the move. Heading out of the corner. It must have happened going down into turn 8. Very late braking move. And you know what? That's a superb move. There's nothing that Lewin could have done in response to that. And he holds him on the apex as well. That's a well-executed move from Shmoy Samuel. Now down the back straight. Can he keep it? There goes Wesley Lewin to the inside. And Samuel lets it go. And we'll have to try another move somewhere else. But Wesley Lewin has got it back. The only BMW driver in the field is Wesley Lewin. My favourite car of the GT3s. This is the one I've always driven. But look who's lurking in on this battle. It's Adrian Rusinandez, and we have a full course caution. Full course yellow, shall I say. Speaking IndyCar language again. Now, that might be for an incident further around the track. I think Jason Raff was involved in an incident. But there are drivers in the pits. Stein Vatens and Matt Gatter. They're going to advantage from this. Stein Vatens in the silver category in the pits here. That might be a stroke of genius there. Or a little bit of luck, if he was indeed in the pits before the full course was called. Which it might have been the case. And there we go, we're back under green flag conditions. The track is clear, we can get racing again. And I bet William Guthrie was hoping that would hang on for a little bit more time so that he would get in the pits. But not to be. But the gamble is, we're going in the pits earlier, like what we've seen with Stein Vatens, is that he does have to conserve fuel for the rest of the race. It's the only thing that he'll have to keep an eye on. Kruger has just moved ahead of Nigel Stock. And Nigel Stock has fallen behind John Berry now. And Nigel Stock's gone into the pits. And so has Neil Forbes, the race leader. That's interesting. Now I wonder why. But here's the move from Jeffrey Kruger on Nigel Stock. Big slipstream move and eases his way past. The Mustang is one of the most powered cars in the field, so is the Mercedes, and we see that from John Berry just moving past Nigel Stock there, who I think, because he was heading into the pits anyway, figured he won't contend it too much. We have black flags for Matthew Addy and Robert Savage. We'll find out what they're for. Jeffrey Kruger also has a black flag. Now I wonder if there was a yellow full course yellow infringement there that caused that. We'll find out very shortly. But the race leader, Jeffrey Kruger, that is a big moment. That's not going to help in the championship either. John Berry must be very pleased with what he's seen ahead of him now, as that means he can get in front. He can focus on winning this race and maybe even another maximum points result in silver category for John Berry, and that will put him well in control of the silver category in the championship as he moves past Jeffrey Kruger. And Kruger knows he's got a black flag. He's not going to contend that too much, and he's going to go to the pits straight away. Yes, he is, as Phil McDougall moves past. But that's John Berry into the lead of this race. This is looking very good, unless Stein Vatens is on a very good strategy here, as we saw he pitted during the full course yellow. We've also got black flags for Craig Tordock and Neil Forbes. Lots of black flags out there, and I think they're all for not getting down to speed fast enough for the full course yellow, or perhaps not going to a low enough speed. So it's all being tossed up in the air a little bit here with some of these black flags. But this is our race leader outright at the moment, William Guthrie. And he is about 3.5 seconds clear of Ben McCluskey, who himself is about 2 seconds clear of Harry Langford, our championship leader, and probably will still be championship leader after tonight, the way things are right now. Silver category, John Berry leads this race at the moment, and may well be on course for a maximum points round tonight, the way things are going now. Matthew Addy has a black flag, but remains second at the moment, and with Rob Savage in third position, but does have a black flag, and has Mark Baker all over the back of him. Tordock's in the pits to serve his penalty. Here comes Mark Baker, and the slipstream is so effective at this track we've seen. And that's probably one of the good things about this layout, is that we're able to see slipstream overtaking here, which we don't often see at other tracks. We might see it at Monza, we might see it at Spa, but not many tracks we see it, as into the pits goes Rob Savage and Matt Addy to serve their penalties. Wesley Lewin, Adrian Ruiz Hernandez, Shamoy Samuel battling still for bronze category, but this is Ruiz Hernandez into second place. He's ahead of Steph Vessels there, who might be trying to help his teammate out a little bit. Steph Vessels in gold category, but his teammate up ahead in bronze category is leading this race in bronze category. But there goes Steph Vessels to the inside, and he'll try and hold up Hernandez cheekily and as much as possible to help out his teammate. But Ruiz Hernandez is the class of the field in bronze category at the moment, it seems. Could we see a high scoring points round from him as well tonight? Gabriel Papaconstantino has not given up though. Fastest lap of this race is 7th place at the moment, with black flags appearing to drivers all around, including Joshua Downing just up the road in 4th. He also has black flag. Just trying to find out of the stewards what the situation is with all these black flags. There's so many immediately after that full course yellow. And perhaps it's the stewards just keeping an eye on those infringements a little bit more and just trying to clamp down on it a little more, which is good, which is why we have a live race control. And it is operated by Jamie Dory. Jamie Dory is one of the leaders here at NXTGEN Racing, runs the NXTCC, runs a lot here at NXTGEN Racing, as well as the likes of Mark Sykes, Benji McCluskey, Gaz Williams, and many more people, actually. As we see, actually, I think we just seen, or not seen, the move for the lead of the bronze category. And I can confirm all the black flags we have seen in the last few moments were all for speeding during the full course yellow when it was activated. There we go. I think that might have been a slowdown penalty for Wesley Lewin, and that's what's lost him second position. First position, excuse me. So, it's not over yet in this bronze category. We have got Ruiz Hernandez just a few tenths ahead of Wesley Lewin, but he is rivaled by Shamoy Samuel at the moment, who's not given up on trying to get those top spots. Ruiz Hernandez, to be fair, was class of the field in race 1, but Shamoy Samuel's looking quick tonight. Wesley Lewin down that main straight gained a lot on Hernandez. That Mustang is super quick down the straight. I just wonder if it is... sorry, he's in the BMW, excuse me. So that's interesting, how much he gained on Hernandez on that long straight. But Hernandez is just pulling away in the corners here, and Shamoy Samuel is catching up to the back of Lewin during these twistier sections. So that BMW... that could be where it's going right and wrong. Right on the straights, wrong in the corners. Let's see what Shamoy Samuel can do in these moments. Josh Downing in 4th place is yet to serve his black flag. Some drivers prefer to hang on to it as long as they can. We just see him on the timing tower there. Harry Langford for fastest lap of the race. And look at Shamoy Samuel. Oh, gets out of shape there. And Wesley Lewin goes a little bit wide at the slowest corner on the track. And the more they battle, and the more they squabble amongst themselves, Ruiz Hernandez will be allowed to pull away at the front. Shamoy Samuel is not actually gaining on Wesley Lewin that much down the straight here. I've got a feeling that BMW is a rocket down the straights. It's within half a second. Well, was at the end of the straight. Oh no, and Shamoy spun it! Come on, get it back going. Come on. Oh, that's such a shame. Was doing so well. And actually with that, Wesley Lewin has just nipped into the pits. There he is. And Jeffrey Kruger is in the pits as well for silver category. But Ruiz Hernandez will be let loose here, will be able to put in the lap times with no one around threatening his lead. Now Josh Downing will be on his final lap to serve that black flag. He's just hanging on here. I wonder if Josh Downing is trying to hang on and hoping that he can serve a drive-through penalty under a full course yellow called. That would be the least times lost from a black flag drive-through penalty. I wonder if that's what the tactic is here. Either that, or genuinely hasn't noticed that he has a black flag. It is quite hard to not notice it, but anything can happen. Should be noted that Josh Downing is the only Acura driver in the field, actually. Excuse me. Silver category is shuffled up quite a bit as John Berry is in the pits, so is Quinton Clumpert, podium finisher in the previous race. So we've now got Mark Baker leading the race, and I can't quite remember what the actual order is in the silver category. We've got Elwin Sykes in second, Stephen Fry finished fourth in the previous race, is third now, and there we go, Josh Downing has now got a disqualification from the race. He has not served his black flag. So that's it. That is a DQ from the race. And that is game over. No points scored for the championship leader heading into tonight for this feature race. Why didn't he serve it? I'm genuinely wondering why and how he failed to serve it. And there we go. That's disappearance. That is Josh Downing out of the race. That puts Shamoy Samuel into the lead of this race right now, pending Wesley Lewin, who's come in the pits already. And there are other drivers in the pits as well, including gold category driver leaders Guthrie, McCluskey, Pittas and Langford. George Plaster and Gaz Williams continue on, but Guthrie's in the pits, as you can see there. The other drivers will continue on. Mark Baker now goes into the pits, so we'll see what happens to the silver category drivers. And as I said earlier, Stein Vatens came into the pits under four-course yellow. He is out there ahead of John Berry, who was the previous leader, but not by much. But it's enough to give Stein Vatens the lead of the race. But does he have enough fuel to get to the end? And does he have enough pace to stay ahead of John Berry? We're going to have to find out as the race goes on. He's currently squabbling a little bit here with Phil McDougall, which isn't going to help. And Klaas Vellen behind him as well. But Stein Vatens, who hasn't won a race in silver category yet and was contending for the bronze category championship last season, fell short in the final round, but finishing second in the championship. And he now leads this race as all silver category drivers have pitted. Mark Baker back out on the track. Nigel Stock will move by and into third place, and I think Nigel has pitted as well. So that means Nigel Stock is in a very good position right now, with others in silver category behind. Mark Baker, though, is in a good spot as well. Oh, and there's a spin further back. That is Kieran Davidson facing the wrong way, and he couldn't quite reverse it via the spin into the runoff area there, but he is going to carry on and not exit out to the side of the track like Lando Norris did at Zandvoort. Now we have got the gold category drivers in the pits. That's George Plaster, Craig Tordock and Gaz Williams, and past goes William Guthrie to retake the lead of this race. McCluskey not too far behind, and Harry Langford passing by as well. And these three will resume the race. Where is the question? Now, Stefan Vessels is in a good spot here, but Stefan Vessels pitted very early, so might have to come in again. But Gavin Gardner is out in 4th place. George Plaster and Gaz Williams rejoining 5th and 6th. Good positions for them. But this is the driver we're going to keep an eye on when it comes to fuel. Does Stein-Vatens have enough fuel and pace? Because John Berry is quick. But does Stein-Vatens have what it takes to win this race? And something's happened to Shamoy Samuel. He's facing the wrong way at the top of the hill, as you can see there. This is what's happened to the VCR driver who's performed so well in this race until this point. Just loses it on entry into the corner. Might have been cold tyres after the pit stop. But that's such a shame to someone who was a genuine threat for the win of this race in bronze. But it's Adrian Ruiz Hernandez who's having the absolutely dream night. Home turf and potentially 2 victories at the moment. But look at Matt Gatter. Matt has had a spin earlier on and did come into the pits during the FCY. And that means it's rewarded with a very good 2nd place here. Gabriel Papaconstantino has had a black flag to serve in this race. Now sits 4th, has recovered a little bit. And Stephen de Gravelli are not too far behind. And Wesley Lewin, despite some of the issues that he's had, battling at the front, is in 3rd place now. Stein-Vatens trying to follow Klaas Vellen and Phil McDougall up ahead. But this is going to be a straight-up fight between himself and John Berry. And about 9/10 separated their previous lap then. John Berry miles quicker than anyone in silver category tonight. And this could well be the race where John Berry takes the lead at the silver category championship, despite missing a race already this season, which was Interlagos, I believe. This could be the moment where he takes the lead of the championship. Nigel Stock off the track there. Was in 4th place and has dropped to 6th. Maybe more. Rhea just gives way mid-corner. Seen that a lot tonight. But now sits 6th, right in front of Jeffrey Kruger, does Nigel Stock. Jeffrey Kruger, who served a black flag tonight, is on the recovery now to recover some points. Bronze category, Adrian Ruiz Hernandez was about 7/10 quicker than Matt Gatter on that last lap. So Ruiz Hernandez is pretty much in the clear now. Meanwhile, this is Kruger versus Stock for 6th place. Kruger trying to take it round the outside. Nigel Stock challenges it back, and Kruger hasn't completed the move yet. And we'll have the outside for the next corner. Trying to power it around the outside. We'll have the inside for the next corner. You can see there, that is going to be a move taken into 6th place. Goes Kruger. Well executed move over a couple of corners actually from Kruger to get past Stock. 2.4/2.3 seconds between Stein-Vatens and John Berry. John Berry, to be fair, has 25 minutes to reel in that 2.5 second gap, so a 10th per lap effectively, per minute effectively. John Berry certainly has the pace to do that, but in fact on that last lap, Stein-Vatens was quicker by a few hundredths than John Berry, so Vatens has responded. There's a little bit of a slipstream up ahead from Klaas Vellen, but in the corners that won't be so good, as the dirty air will create less downforce. It will cause the car to wash out wide, which is what I think happened just then on the final corner. a corner where you really do depend on downforce. And that last lap, Stuyvesant's was nearly a second slower than John Berry, and a lot of that probably came from that final corner we just saw then. But John Berry is closing in. And got to give a shout out as well to Mark Baker. I can't remember the last time we saw Mark Baker finish on the podium in silver category, but this is looking good for him at the moment. A top tier performance tonight, especially in this feature race. Looking good for a third place right now. Quite a way clear of Quinton Clumpert at the moment, 7 seconds, who he is battling with Neil Forbes just behind. We haven't picked on gold category for a while, and it's because they're all out on their own doing time trial laps by the looks of it. Guthrie leads, and they're all pretty much now having a fight for who gets fastest lap bonus points. And that, by the way this championship is panning out in the gold category, will be crucial when we get to season end. The extra points you get here from qualifying, from the fastest lap in the races, all will be all important for the season end. Currently, it is Harry Langford that holds fastest lap in gold category, Papaconstantino in bronze category, and Kruger in silver category. Just not seen Forbes make a move on Quinton Clumpert for 4th place. This is how it happened. And it is the classic move we've seen going into the final corner. Forbes is able to keep it tight to the inside, while washed out wide is Quinton Clumpert there. But they have, excuse me, Jeffrey Kruger and Nigel Stock closing in. Nigel Stock is squabbling a little bit with Brandon Vincent Squibb. Okay. Not many battles now happening at this point. We've got Steve de Grevelier close to, even inside the car of Gabriel Papaconstantino there. And I think that was a flash of the lights there from Steven to say, sorry, either that or I'm PO'd with you, get out of the way. Steve de Grevelier has had good pace tonight, not necessarily the results to go with that pace. Was looking good in qualifying, was looking good in practice. The results haven't translated, and of course we saw that lap 1 from Stephen. It was a dream start until turn 3. And who knows what could have happened if they made it through turn 3 without that contact. Eight tenths between Stuyvesant and John Berry now. John Berry on that last lap set a 34.7, a 35.2 for Stuyvesant. Berry's got sights of the race leader. Doesn't hold fastest lap at the moment, so still has some work to do to try and get the fastest lap bonus points to make this a maximum scoring round for John Berry, and I'm sure he'll tell us all about his night in the interviews later. It's all happening in the corner here. You just saw how much he gained on Stuyvesant in the corner, and he got much later apexes there than Stuyvesant's. And he's taking so much more curb there as well than Stuyvesant's, but perhaps the Lamborghini just can't handle the curbs as well as the Mercedes can. Actually, John Berry lost a little bit of control there at the Mercedes. He had to back off the throttle going through turn number 3. We will switch back to this battle soon when it erupts. Neil Forbes, Quinton Clumpert and Jeffrey Kruger here battling for 4th place. Kruger all over the rear of Clumpert, trying to get up to a higher spot to try and regain some points in this race. See what happens on this main straight between these drivers. You got the Mercedes up against Porsche and then Mustang. I feel like that Porsche might be a little bit underpowered on the straights, but we do have a swap of positions here. Stein Vatens has just got out of the way of John Berry there. He's decided, you know what, you're my teammate, I'm going to let you go. He has. That's Kruger to the inside of Clumpert and through he goes. Not quite over yet, got to finish it through the corner. He has. That's Kruger up into 5th place. So we've had a change of the lead and we've also got Kruger on the charge, but fighting back is Quinton Clumpert. But not able to make the move at turn 1. Kruger can now set his sights on Neil Forbes up ahead, and that'll be 4th place. It might be a little bit of a lost cause to get Mark Baker in 3rd. We also have to turn our attentions to gold category as Harry Langford has caught up to Benji McCluskey. Something I didn't think was going to happen, but it has. And Langford might not be finished yet. He might be going for 2nd place here. And for Langford to catch and pass Benji McCluskey in this race will be a big statement in the championship. Langford, who's come runner-up in this championship in the last season, was always eclipsed by McCluskey last season. It looks like the turntables. Right up the rear now. This is a big opportunity for Langford to pass McCluskey on this lap. There is a battle ensuing in bronze category for 3rd place as well. Papa Constantino and Stephen de Gravelia are right on the rear of Wesley Lewin now. It's just clouded over at this circuit, but look at this. Langford is right on the rear, pushing McCluskey pretty much. Now McCluskey goes to the inside to defend, and Langford's on the outside. This is going to be the action into the final corner we wanted to see from these top-tier drivers in this series. Nose ahead from Langford. He goes wide. He's going to surrender a little bit of position here, but he's going to try and undercut here coming out of the final corner and get a blast down the front straight to try and move into turn 1. He moves to the inside already. It's just going to be late braking that does it here, but will he get far enough ahead? He will! And into 2nd place goes our championship leader, past our defending champion. Now he has to defend it. McCluskey is going to fight it back. He has the number 1 on his door for a reason. He is the most winningest driver in this series ever. But Langford really is in a class of his own at the moment. Tonight he's super, super quick. No response from McCluskey yet. Let's see what happens down the main straight here. This is the exit from the slowest corner, where we'll lead on to that back straight. McCluskey is a long way back here at the moment. Langford's looking comfortable right now, so far. McCluskey has gained down the straight, but it's not going to be enough to make a move. Nope, not quite. Langford holds on to it for now. And now Langford will really be hoping for a good lap here to gap McCluskey. He'll also be hoping those back markers up ahead who are in bronze category don't hold him up too much. But that is the other battle we were going to monitor. Gabriel Papaconstantino is gained on Wesley Lewin. Stephen de Gravelli has dropped back a little bit from these two. But if these two battle, de Gravelli might be able to close it back up. We've got 14 minutes left. Let's see what happens. This is the battle for the final spot on the podium in bronze category. Wide goes Wesley Lewin. That means Papaconstantino is going to have a much better exit. But you know what? Wesley Lewin might have just had a good enough late corner exit to keep hold of it. It's the view from the low front end of the Lamborghini. And the BMW we've seen has been quick on the straights tonight. Can that Lamborghini gain on this BMW? At the moment, a little bit. Perhaps not enough, though. No, it really isn't. But put this the other way around, and that BMW probably would have rinsed all over that Lamborghini. But in the corners, that little Lamborghini is looking super good. It really is in the corners that Papaconstantino is doing the damage on Wesley Lewin. As they bump through turn 3, and that is the leaders of gold category coming through. That's Langford trying to make his way past Stephen de Gravelli. De Gravelli hasn't quite got out of the way just yet, and Langford will be frantically flashing his lights. He is. And a half surrender there, I would say. But Langford's through. That's one car between him and McCluskey. Papaconstantino would have dropped off from Wesley Lewin there, with having to surrender to the leaders. He's trying to hang on to the back of Langford. Stephen de Gravelli might be offered something here to challenge back at Papaconstantino as McCluskey's now trying to move by. And he has passed him. The thing is that the issue that Stephen de Gravelli and Papaconstantino have is they are trying to fight for position. They are trying to fight for championship points, but equally, Langford and McCluskey are also fighting for those sort of titles. Wesley Lewin goes very wide, trying to let by the leaders. He's trying to lose as little time as possible. I feel like he did what he could there, but Papaconstantino is now right on the rear of the BMW. Oh, and I thought he was going to try a move there, and actually, they Constantino'd up a little bit, and Stephen de Gravelli got right towards the rear of the Lamborghini there. Now it's a three-way fight between these three for third place. Wesley Lewin is hanging on to it really, really well at the moment, it must be said. Do have a bit of squabbling between Jeffrey Kruger and Neil Forbes. This is for fourth place in silvers. Forbes is responding on the outside here, but I feel like Kruger has got the better line. No, he doesn't. He has to tuck back in. Forbes has defended it with a very wide line around the final corner to hang on to fourth place for the moment. There is also a battle for fourth place brewing as well between Gavin Gardner, Gaz Williams and Stefan Vessels and Jack Pittas. So that could erupt in a few laps time, if not soon. No moves yet. Papa Constantino still holds the fastest lap, and quite surprisingly Jeffrey Kruger does in the silver category. The only reason is because John Berry has been super quick tonight. I thought he would get it, but he hasn't quite yet. That might be what he's working on right now in the final 10 minutes, albeit with warm and scuffed tyres. As wide goes Wesley Lewin. Papa Constantino takes to the outside and then undercuts back, switches back to that inside, but I don't think he did it at the right time, and there's contact between the two. Oh, and I think Stephen De Gravelli avoided that, but let's just get an aerial shot of there because we missed the contact there. But Papa Constantino tries the switchback. It's a very, very shallow entry into the corner, and Wesley Lewin, I don't think he knew he was there, even though there might have been a spotter call, and that's a hard one to call actually between them two. Let's just get another shot of it because I want to see if Stephen De Gravelli had any contact. That promotes him to third place though. He's already quite wide out. Oh, you know what? I think Stephen De Gravelli avoided that. That puts Papa Constantino down the order here. Wesley Lewin continues in fourth. He wasn't affected so much, and he might have a little bit of damage. There was some bodywork that came off the cars, but I think they might have reattached through what iRacing does when it thinks there's netcode involved. This does promote Stephen De Gravelli into third place for what could be his best result of the season so far. And we haven't mentioned him yet, but hats off to Matt Gatter. Second place, and this would be probably one of his best results ever in bronze category in NXTGEN GT3s. What a drive it's been tonight from Ruiz Hernandez in the bronze category though. This is looking like near perfect night. He just needs the fastest lap. But I feel like at this point in the race it's going to be a bit tough to get. But we'll see. We will see. Hats off also to this guy, John Berry. Class of his own class. He's on his way to a near perfect night as well. Not quite the same for Langford. He's in second place, but you know what? Langford started a lot further back. He's made it past one of his fiercest rivals in gold category. But a second place in this race is not to be snuffed at. He gained or extended his lead in the championship by a fair few points from the sprint race. And this is minimal damage done to him from Guthrie in this race. With actually only a few laps to go in this race, as we've seen Jack Pittas and Stefan Vessels battling it out. Whoa, it's so close there, heading out. Oh no, and there is a spin from Stefan Vessels and into the wall, and a miserable night turn even more miserable for our previous champion. Let's just get another shot of that because they were extremely close. The drama continues here. Oh, it just gives way. There's a little bit of contact between them, but that's not what caused him to go into the wall. The car just gave way following that contact, and there was nothing that could be saved from that for Vessels. He's out of this race, and that's no points for him. That could well be the moment that turns this into a three-way fight for the championship now, as Stefan Vessels has lost so many points tonight and this season so far, that it could well mean that McCluskey, Langford and Guthrie are now the contenders for this championship. It's been quite a dramatic night. It just continues to deliver, this series does, and with the tyre physics completely updated from last season, it has thrown a cat amongst the pigeons, and now with the implementation of full course yellows and live stewarding, it completely makes these races unpredictable. And that's what we've seen in every race so far this season. And it's been that tonight. Might not be the best track that these guys have raced on, and they're the first to admit that. But it has been an entertaining night for us viewers. There is still a battle raging on from 4th place down to 7th. It is involving Gavin Gardner, Gaz Williams, Jack Pittas and George Plaster. Gaz Williams, to be fair to him, he's had a string of good results tonight, and he himself could be in contention of 4th in the championship right now after tonight. We haven't seen Gaz Williams win a race for a while in this series. I think his last win would have come season 6 maybe? He's attempting a move on teammate Gavin Gardner. And trying to follow him through. Here's Jack Pittas. Gavin Gardner's trying to respond by hanging it on the outside on that dirty line, which will be full of marbles at the moment, but Gavin Gardner's managed to hang on to it. But Jack Pittas holds the inside as we head to turn number 1. And up ahead, I think that's Papa Constantino, who's about to get lapped by these drivers. Gavin Gardner hangs on to it on the right side. He'll have the inside for the next corner, but Pittas might have the better line. Yes, he does. He makes it through. But George Plaster's all over the rear of Gavin Gardner now. Gardner defending, actually tried a response move on Jack Pittas. And it did make Pittas flinch a little bit. But look at this. To the inside goes George Plaster on Gavin Gardner. They were so close to contact. In fact, they might have been a little bit. But they continue on. Close battling between all these drivers. It's really exciting to watch. The only other battle is one potentially between Nigel Stock and Quinton Clumpert for 6th place in silvers. If that gets a bit exciting, we'll switch to it. Flashing their lights at Papa Constantino, who is being lapped by these drivers in gold category. As Papa Constantino does move out the way, it wasn't that obvious that he was doing so, but he does. And it's just difficult for these drivers who get lapped because they're trying to fight for what's left in their race, certainly in Papa Constantino's case, trying to recover from the penalty earlier on. But at the same time, he has to relinquish time to letting by these drivers a lap ahead. As back here, that's George Plaster making his way past Gavin Gardner. We just caught the back end of that. Gavin Gardner has lost a fair few places in the last lap. He's dropped from 4th to 7th. Meanwhile, Nigel Stock was seeing another spin on the same corner as he spun on the previous race. And something's happened between him and Quinton Clumpert. Clumpert here on the replay on his inside, but Nigel Stock responds. And there is a bit of contact. It looked a little bit like netcode from our view. But we wouldn't tell unless we got a little bit closer to that. But Nigel Stock loses more places in this already miserable round for him. Jack Pittas gaining on Gaz Williams here. And we have started the final lap here. William Guthrie will take another win in this championship. I think it will be win number 3, of the season for William Guthrie. Nice undercutting move there from Jack Pittas. He's got the inside of Gaz Williams. No, he hasn't. Gaz Williams has responded and keeps hold of 4th for now as they start their final lap here at Aragon. And the thing is, right, we're going to finish this race a long way past 1 hour, probably closer to 1 hour, 1 minute and a half. Have the drivers got enough fuel in the tank? It has to be that's, yeah, it has to be that they put enough fuel in to get them beyond the exact number of laps remaining estimated by their fuel calculators. And I'm just hearing Gavin Gardner was saving fuel, actually, so that's why he lost out in that battle so much. But back to business as usual for William Guthrie. It's not been the ideal night for him with the issues he had in the sprint race, but he's back to winning ways in this feature race. He wins our feature racing gold category by quite a margin as well. Harry Langford comes here in second place. What a successful night for him. This will extend his championship lead after tonight. And Benji McCluskey coming through in third place. Still a strong result in this race for our defending champion. Still a way to go on this final lap. And actually, I think, yeah, fourth place has been taken by Jack Pittas in the final moments there from Gaz Williams, who he might have run out of fuel. And George Plaster, I think, passed him in the final moments there. Or did? No, he didn't. Gaz Williams hung on to it just in time for the line and keeps hold of fifth place. But I think he did run out of fuel there towards the end. John Berry, what a night this has been for him. Double wins tonight. And surely he will take the lead of the championship now. The outright quickest tonight in silver category with a historic performance in the sprint race. Stein Vatens comes through in second place with pitting at exactly the right time on the full course yellow to benefit with second place there in that race. A great result for him and his best in silver category so far. And Jeffrey Kruger, a great recovery despite the black flag he had earlier on, finishes third in this race. And Ruiz Hernandez, we didn't catch him coming across the line, but Ruiz Hernandez, a double winner tonight. A fantastic performance from him in the bronze category, taking double wins, and might put himself into the championship picture with that performance. Matt Gatter with his best ever result in Next Gen Racing in the bronze category, second position, and Stephen de Gravelia is back on the podium in bronze category. Well, what an interesting night's worth of racing we've had there, and let's have a look at our results before we head into potentially some updated championship results. Not quite yet, but we'll see what happens. But these are the results from the feature race. William Guthrie takes the win from Harry Langford, our championship leader, potentially still after tonight. Benji McCluskey with third position, with Jack Pittas taking it from Gaz Williams in the final moments of that race. Gaz Williams fifth, as we mentioned. George Plaster up into sixth place, past Gavin Gardner towards the end, who was fuel saving. He finishes seventh. Phil McDougall in eighth, followed by Craig Tordock in ninth. Klaas Vellum rounds off the top 10. Jason Raff 11th, followed by David Price in 12th. And non-finishers were Stefan Vessels, Brandon Vincent Squibb, Kieran Davidson, Adam Wilson-Weir, who had a disconnected headset and couldn't continue, and Ben Altria in 17th. Silver category, and it's a win for John Berry. That's 2 from 2 tonight. And in second place, Stein Vatens, as we mentioned, with the alternate strategy, finishes second place, and he did have enough fuel to get to the end. Jeffrey Kruger did get a black flag in that race for speeding under full course yellow conditions, is third, followed by Neil Forbes in fourth position. Mark Baker with a good result there in fifth, followed by Quinton Klumpert in sixth position, who took it away from Nigel Stock, who had that spin towards the end. Alan McCain, Stephen Fry, Nigel Stock make it a bit of a miserable feature race for Crest Autosport in the silvers here. Elwyn Sykes is 10th, followed by Matthew Addy in 11th, and a lap down or a non-finisher, not quite sure, for Robert Savage. Bronze category now, and it's 2 from 2 also for Adrian Ruiz Hernandez. A brilliant win tonight, and 15 seconds clear of Matt Gatter, who gets his best result ever in Next Gen Racing in bronze. Stephen de Gravelia back on the podium, as we mentioned, with Wesley Lewin in fourth position, who had the contact with Papa Constantino, but he comes through to finish fourth still on that recovery. Jochen Siegert fifth. He's had a pretty good night with 2 fifth place finishes, I believe. And Gabriel Papa Constantino in sixth position. Kurt Van Honecker 7th. Shamoy Samuel in 8th, and the lap down was Davide Favo, and non-finishers were Joshua Downing due to disqualification for not serving a black flag, and Andrew Allen. Now, all those results would have done something to our championship standings, but I don't think we're going to get live updates on the championship standings tonight because we don't have Paul Williams racing tonight, so we might not get any results or standings updated. So we're going to see if we can speak to any drivers. Now, we're not going to have too many interviews tonight because we are going to run over time anyway, but we will speak to at least some of our winners tonight. And the first we are going to speak to is John Berry. We're going to bring him into the interview booth very, very shortly. And we are joined in the commentary booth with our silver category standout performer tonight, probably one of my drivers of the day tonight, John Berry. Welcome back to the interview room. Well done tonight, mate. How do you feel?
Yeah, the 2 weeks off have done me good. Yeah, just excited to be doing well.
Doing well, it's a bit of an understatement. Really well is how it should be. But I saw you mention in Discord you practice a lot for tonight.
Yeah.
Just talk us through a little bit about what prep you've done.
I think I've done between 100 and 150 laps on the run up to the 2 weeks. I've also had some coaching off Adam and Will and Ben coming into this with some video feedback and how to get quicker, my lines, where to utilise the track, all of that sort of stuff has come massively in handy, and evidently it's shown tonight in the sprint.
Amazing stuff, and it has paid off indeed. How do you feel about everyone calling for you being in gold category then?
Yeah, I feel like Adam, what was it, a season and a half ago,
yes,
or 2 seasons ago. I feel like, but it's not. I don't think it's a bad thing. I would like to finally be able to win something because it's eluded me for 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I would like to, just get something under the belt to say I've got something,
Yeah.
So while it's nice to say that, Berry for gold and Berry for platinum and, all of this, it's great, but I would like to win something. So I would like to stay put just so I can win something. And yeah, fair enough. If I do go up to gold next season, I'll go up to gold next season. But just please let me stay where I am.
I'm fairly sure that will happen at this point in the season. But how about the rest of the season then, John? You must feel that you've got a chance at the championship now.
Yes, I do feel like I have a chance at the championship, and having a look at the rest of the season, the only one that I'm very scared of is Nürburgring. The rest of them I can probably get away with, but I think Nürburgring is the one that scares me, because when we did it last, I didn't finish. So, yeah, I don't like it. I don't want to go there. If that would have been my drop round, if I didn't have to miss for testing previously.
Yeah, so let's see what happens. That is in 2 weeks' time. But in 1 week from now, we're in Germany, but we're at the Hockenheimring, and we see the schedule on the screen now. How do you feel about Hockenheimring? It's a track we've not visited forever, I think, in this series. How are you feeling about that one?
Yeah, I don't feel too bad. I feel confident after tonight that I'll be able to get on with it pretty quickly. Whether my pace is reflected in that at the end of next Thursday, we'll find out. Not too confident at the minute, but hopefully as long as I get some testing in over the next week. Next Friday I'm meant to be at Snetterton, and then following week I'm racing at GT World Challenge. So I don't have a massive amount of time to get practice in, including work and whatnot, but we'll try. We can only try at this point.
It's a hard life, isn't it? But Yeah, thank you for putting on a show tonight, John, and a very historic performance in the sprint race, it must be said, with an outright podium. But before we head off, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to who might be watching on the broadcast tonight?
Yeah, Dan, if you're still here watching, thanks for tuning in, and anyone from Smarter Appliances. All of our sponsors here at Type 2, thank you very much for being with us. Thank you, Alex, and thank you, Ben, Will, and the Full Tilt guys and Adam for coaching. Much appreciated.
No, oh, excuse me. No problem at all. Thank you very much, John. We'll see you next time at Hockenheim.
Cheers, see you later.
There we go. Like I said, driver of the day performance for John Berry. I don't often call out a driver of the day. I used to do it quite religiously, actually, but nowadays it has to be an absolutely standout performance. And that's what we saw tonight from John Berry. 2 wins from 2. I don't think he got fastest lap in silvers in the end. Let me just check. 27, 17, yeah, so not quite fastest lap in that feature race, but a near perfect night for John Berry. Just 1 point off it. So not too bad, actually. We don't have any more interviews lined up. We don't have any championship standings lined up. So quite a disappointing end to our broadcast tonight, but that will be the end of our broadcast tonight. So let's just have a recap of the results that we saw in the feature race. In the gold category, the top 3 were William Guthrie, Harry Langford, and Benji McCluskey. In the silver category, our top 3 was John Berry, Stein Vatens, and Jeffrey Kruger. And in the bronze category, Adrian Ruiz Hernandez makes it 2 from 2. In the bronze category, Matt Gatter in 2nd position and Stephen de Gravelia in 3rd. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this round 4 from Aragon. Next up on the calendar, as we mentioned just a moment ago, is the Hockenheim Ring, a track we haven't visited. I don't think the whole time I've been broadcasting this we have visited Hockenheim Ring, so let's see how that goes. It's a little bit into the unknown, but it is a popular track for the GT3 contingent on iRacing, so they're going to be used to it if they do racing the officials, but we'll see how it goes. It's going to be relatively new to myself and this league. But that's up next. That's on the 23rd of April. Tune in to NXTGEN Racing on YouTube and Facebook to catch that action as it happens live. But for now, this has been NXTGEN Racing, the GT3 Season 9, Round 4 at Aragon. A huge thank you to our partner sponsors and affiliates, PowerMax Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design, Falconer PC. Thank you very much. And if you want to get involved in the Discord server, whether you're a spectator or a wannabe driver in this series or any other series that's hosted by NXTGEN Racing, scan the QR code on our screen there just towards the top and that'll give you access to the Discord server. And if you can't scan that QR code, there is a link in the description of this video that'll do the same thing if giving you access to our Discord. I've been Alex Everett, your commentator for tonight. This has been the NXTGEN Racing GT3 Season 9. We'll see you next time at Hockenheim Ring. Thank you for watching, and good night.
Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, that's all from us here at NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.